dag nabbit. What was that my grandma used to say? What she say? What did she used to say? Guy. My grandma, when I was younger, she used to say guy. Like for like God, but it was like the slang version, you know, like the saying like golly. She just said guy. So that's the vibe today. Guy. Very important that the sun is out. It looks so pretty. And I want it to be out in the air for today's video. I'm very excited. I have like very important messages coming through. The first thing that came through, I've written them down in my little book. I have them here. And I drew this little symbol. I've been drawing symbols recently, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe they'll like mean something to somebody. Trying to make sure I still got the 5G. Okay. This is a symbol. It kind of looks like a shell or like a little wave. Okay. So it says, don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. I'll say it again. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. The first time I heard that was in that Cinderella story movie with Hilary Duff. And it came about because somebody was like slamming the door to the diner where she worked. And every time somebody would slam the door, the guitar that was on the wall would like shake. And then finally like somebody like slammed the door hard enough that the guitar fell down, and the wallpaper that was covering beneath it had that phrase on there. And that's been like a huge message that I've been getting today for this 1010 portal. At the end, it's like have something real under the wrapping. Have something real under the wrapping is the feeling that I've been getting. Like I've been getting this message super duper clearly from spirit to like make sure that like stepping back into like more of my masculine energy, that I'm like coming with authenticity, coming with this balance and equilibrium, this harmony between my masculine energy and my feminine energy. And I'll just give you like a personal like example of something I always like say. I think it's like I guess it's kind of like my ego, but whenever like I hear people like, I don't know, like people with like fancy shit, I don't know, like titles and shit, and I'm just like, I could easily like do that. Like I'm very, very smart, like, and I'm very tenacious, and I'm very disciplined, and I'm very like, I'm not like a lot of people. I don't like need a lot of like socializing time. So like I can get down in the nitty gritty and study. Like, for example, I remember I was in college and there was this professor, and nobody liked her class because she would always give us pop quizzes, and she'd like assign us like 50 pages to read, probably sometimes more than that, like overnight. And then the next day we were expected to like know it and like have a pop quiz. And so we take her exams, and she'd have like 300 pages worth of like reading material that we need to like use to prepare for the exam. And I remember everybody was like having a hard time, and I was like, fuck that. Thank you for the like. Hi, thank you so much for liking this, so we can share it, because I feel like these energies are important to reach the collective. Anyways, end of the year, you know, final like exam, I studied my ass off and I read through every single one of those documents that she gave us like throughout all the years. I combed through them, wrote so many notes, and I memorized like all of it. And I got like a 99 on my final exam. And so I tell people, like, I'm very tenacious. If I wanted to be a doctor, if I wanted to do these big ass like cool jobs where you could get paid a lot, like I could easily do that. I don't want to because I'm here to establish a new order. And I feel like I say all that to say, it's like I feel like whenever that's my response, it's coming from this kind of like egoic kind of place. And the message of today with this 1010 is like, that's all nice and well, Jabria, bright queen, that you can do that and that you're so capable, in this way, and you're so cool. But like, underneath that, you need to be love, or within that, you need to be love. You need to be a compassionate person, and you need to have like, it needs to be grounded in just love. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna be the message today. Cause I was driving, I was driving and I wanted to listen. Like, my intuition was like, you should listen to Father Figure by Taylor Swift. And it's, if you haven't heard it, it's basically this song about like how she got into the music industry, and like the music industry people were like her father figure. And how like masculine and domineering it was. And one of the lines is like, you make, like, he, the father figure, can make deals with the devil because his dick's bigger. Like, he's much more tougher, than the devil himself. So, he can make these deals and get shit done. Right? Very wealthy type of masculine shit. And then by the end of the song, she goes and she switches it and she says, I was your father figure. You made a deal with this devil. Turns out my dick's bigger than yours. It's like reclaiming like her power back over, I guess, like this entity, really. I hope my phone is like not getting hot. I can barely see anything. There we go. It's very bright. The bright queen. So obviously I'm in the right place. Again, thank you so much for the likes. But anyways, after that, I really was like really enjoying that energy. I listened to the song like 4 times back to back, and I was like, I want to like continue this energy because I'm feeling it. And so I was like, what's coming to mind like to continue this energy, because the damn show won that album. And it was like 444, the album by Jay-Z. I can't see anything. Oh my God. The 444, the album by Jay-Z. And so I started listening to it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I love all of this, because it's basically talking about like kind of everything that I've been experiencing recently. It's like people don't notice, or I don't know, I feel like it's not obvious unless you've like listened to the album like thoroughly, which I have. But he basically like goes through all of his different personas, like Sean Carter, Jay-Z, Hove, like all these different titles that he's given himself, or that have been given to him over the years of his life. And he goes through and like kills like off like these different egoic personas and like brings some of them back to life. But all in all, he's like fully combing through the lives of himself and like taking accountability and letting go of the certain parts that are no longer needed and no longer serving him. And so one of the messages that I got from listening to that album, okay, I'm gonna say it, hold on. It's called Be Disciplined with Your Energy. Something that I keep hearing while I said that, they're like, my guys are like, don't forget to mention this, don't forget to mention this. And I'm like, okay. Is that this album came out, how old was I? I think it came out in like 2018, maybe 2017. I should have like looked before I got here. Either way, the point is I was in college. I remember when this album came out, and I remember I used to just like drive around like blasting this music. I think maybe 2017. I don't know. Maybe it came out when I was like out of high school. Definitely like in that stage of like transitioning. And anyways, I was so young, as I still am young now. Forever young. I feel like I'll always be young. But anyways, like this album is very deep, and he wrote it for like men like himself, like men in their like 40s, as he was at the time. Like he wrote it for like men who were like in marriages and like had kids and all this stuff. And the point is that they want me to share is like, here I was like this like 18-year-old 17-year-old girl who I didn't have any of those things, and like didn't like there was no reason for me to be relating basically so much to this album as I did. But I was like thinking when they were bringing this up to me, and while I was listening to it just now, it was like, you relate to this album because it's truth. Like, you relate to what he's saying because it's the truth. Hi, people in the comments. I see the little waves. Hi. But yeah, like it's the truth. And I feel like a part of this message is like everything about me is also about this, about you, and like about like what I'm sharing is basically, I remember like nobody really like getting a lot of the things that I was getting when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. Like, my peers around me, my friends that I'd like hang out with, wasn't that many, but I would like I'll show them a song, or I'll play them this song, like one of the Jay-Z 444 album songs. Or I remember D Smoke, I'd play like one of his songs and I'd be like, this song is like, this is everything, like this is like the truth, like listen to what he's talking about. And like people would be like, what? They'd be like, okay, okay. And so that goes connected right back to that message I was saying earlier about be disciplined with your energetic field. Thank you for the likes. Yesterday I went out to brunch with my friends, my old co-workers, and I don't hang out with any of them often by any means. This is the most friends I've had in a long time, and I actually like them. But I would say I hang out with them like once every like 2 months, and so it was the time. It was it was 2 months. And like they were all there, and like I remember like on the way there my body started to react. It was like jittery, like I just drunk a bunch of coffee, and this is why I don't drink coffee unless it's decaf, and even that I go light on because I'm super duper sensitive. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? And I heard like this voice say like, because like you know why. It's because it's them. Like they're not in alignment with you. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, I'm already there. And I did feel like somewhat guided to go. And I feel like this is why I went there, and everybody was nice. All of them are nice. They're nice, and they're beautiful people, and they're so kind. They've never like been any kind of mean or ugly to me in any kind of way. And they're beautiful. Like I said, they're beautiful to look at, all of them. And they're funny. But I was sitting there and I was like, I'm ready to go. And it was also this feeling of like wanting to cry. I was like, I don't want to be here right now. And this is a feeling that I've been having for a while now, with a lot of things in my life, where I'm just like, I don't want that. I'm not very interested in that. And I know it's because I've been steadily like returning to my true self. Oh my God, somebody subscribed to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Look at the little sun. He's so cute. How do I show it? I can barely see myself in the screen. So sorry if I'm like doing weird things. But yeah, and I could feel it like when I showed up, my energy was very like clean. Like it was just super clean because I'd been by myself. The people I'd hung around the most were my nieces, and they're not even 1 year old yet, so they're just super, just pure light beings. And so that's how my energy was. And then when I went around my friends, I could feel like all their things like coming into my field. As always, I'm exposed to all these things that's going on with each of them. And by the end of it, like when I did like finally be like, I'm about to go, I felt like still jittery, and I had to like, my energy felt completely like, not completely, but like super shifted or different to how I was feeling before. My stomach is growling. I'm about to go eat. It's okay. But anyways, that was the point. They were saying like, we know you're tough. Jabria, like the Bright Queen, Queen Sensitivity. Like, we know you're tough. We know how tough you are. But baby doll, like, you need to go sit down and you need to like be by yourself. And that's like a lot of the messages I was getting from listening to Jay-Z's 444 album is like he was raised in Marcy Projects in like this very tough environment. And for this album, he had to become soft. He had to be open. One of the lines he says in there that I always loved is, "You can't heal what you never revealed." He takes a lot of accountability in this album. He apologizes in this album, but he also like acknowledges the part of him that he really likes and he really loves. And you have to like hold space for all those different parts of yourself. And so even though I haven't been wanting to, as I've said recently, I've been wanting to like sort of like, you know, like blast through things as I know I can. I'm very, very strong. I'm very powerful. And I know that if I like really like demand something to happen in my life, it will. It will. But that's the thing. It's like, if you can't see like the bigger picture or from a higher perspective, and you kind of like push and push for something to happen, it'll happen, but it could go against what your soul's ultimate like goal or aim is. So that's also a message. I'm seeing here 55. To take a little dip before I get into like some of the lyrics from the 444 album, I want to talk about this song that I wrote called Harper and Will. If you didn't know, I do write my own songs. Hi, butterfly. I've been seeing a lot of butterflies. That one is yellow. I'm by this trailer park. You want to see? I don't know if you probably can't see the butterfly, but this is a trailer park. It's quite cool. I never like seen one of these until my grandma, the same one I was just talking about. She showed me when like my folks lived there in Alabama. Ah, another one. Ooh, transformation. Anyways, I write my own songs, and I wrote this one called Harper and Will based off of this documentary type of thing on Netflix called Will and Harper. And it's with Will Ferrell and his friend Harper, who transitioned to like a woman. So basically was transgender. And I watched that documentary like when I got back from China last year, around this time, probably a little bit before, like maybe like September or whenever it came out. And it was like a huge, you know, obviously adjustment. I felt very like luxurious because they have a lot of that firewall in China. You can't really watch things without the VPN. And so I was like, I was happy like to be able to like go press on Netflix and it just work. And I don't have to like do all these like tricks and flips. But I remember feeling very seen when I watched that. And I remember, thank you for the likes. I remember watching it and it got to like the end. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cry. It got to the end and they were getting their toes done. And they had like, it was after they'd gone on this like countrywide road trip together. And this other comedian, I always forget her name, but she's one of my favorite comedians. She was in that movie Superstar. That's one of my favorite movies. It came out the year I was born. All the best movies came out the year I was born. She asked like Will and Harper, she asked Harper first, and she's like, so Harper, like what would you say like is like the thing that you learned about Will like over this like road trip that y'all took together? And Harper goes, I always like knew Will loved me because like they'd been friends for like decades. As like Harper, before when Harper was like going by the pronouns of him, you know, identified as a man, and they'd been friends for years, but this was like just after the transition to Harper. And so she was like, me and Will have been friends for decades and I knew he loved me, you know, he's always like been there for me. And then she was like, I didn't know he like loved me though until now. Like after he revealed that he was like, she, a transgender woman, Will still like accepted his friend like fully, like loved still completely, and learned so many things about like what friendship looked like and what it could be. And I feel like that's important, because there was like on Jay-Z's album, if you haven't heard it, 444, he has that song called Smile, and it's about his mom and how his mom was a lesbian, had 4 kids, but she's a lesbian and had to pretend so long that she's a thespian. And I got like a quote from that one. The quote I got from Smile goes like this. It says, "My therapist said I relapsed. I said perhaps I Freudian slipped in European whips. God sent me to break the chain. I'm the true and living." That's the quote that I got from Smile. And I really liked this part. I liked the idea of like the therapist is saying like he relapsed into like a different, like, I don't know, worse part of himself or something like that. And he says, perhaps I did like Freudian slip. And a Freudian slip is whenever you like admit something accidentally, like something that's like on your mind, and you say that accidentally, like in a context that's seemingly non-related, and it like it supposedly reveals like what was on your mind. And the God sent me to break the chain. I'm the true and living. And I just love that. The whole idea of like, he says relapse in European whips. And if you know anything about like, you know, the supposed timeline and supposed history, but anyways, with enslaved people and whips. And then he says, God sent me to break the chain. All these, you know, he always has these entendres in there. But it's like multiple layers of like the reasons why, you know, and was it even a relapse in the first place? Maybe I'm just identifying with something that's like outside of the bounds of understanding, you know, as a, you know, a therapist, you know what I mean? Anyways, I hope this is all making sense. Harper and Will. Anyways, yeah, so I wrote Harper and Will last year, and I went back and watched my video, me singing it, and I'm so skinny in the video because I lost a lot of weight while I was in China because I walked everywhere all the time, and their food is super clean compared to ours. At least that's my personal experience. It didn't bloat me nearly as much as the American food bloats and hurts my stomach a lot. And so I was very skinny in the video, and like I could just feel like my energy of it. I was very like traumatized from like the whole experience of like being face to face with my family again. Like a lot of trauma, and a lot of like being still in that like fight or flight mode, the kind of like panicked still mode, and like what am I gonna do now? I don't know. I didn't plan to come back here. That whole vibe. And I was watching myself. Hopefully the wind isn't like hurting. Hi. Hovo. Anyways. I've lost my train of thought. This is why I'm trying not to look at the camera. Anyways, I was thinking like, oh my God, like I've changed so much. Like I'm nothing. I'm a lot like, but nothing like I was last year. Like last year I was even like afraid still, even sometimes this year, of like sharing my music. I didn't really want people to listen because I thought all of my songs sucked. Like the next day I'd be like, oh, this is nothing. Like I thought it was good, but it's not. And now I don't feel that way. Like now I love my music, and I think the songs that I write are incredible. And even the ones that I go back and listen to, I'm like, like this one isn't, you know, that good. I still like own it. I still own myself, and I still appreciate myself. I love myself a lot differently now. And so that's also like a message of like I said, literally the Harper and Will, like deepening in love, like expanding in love, like reaching new heights, new levels, new depths in love, and what that actually means and what that actually looks like when it's presented. Thank you so much for liking my video. So next thing, on the way here, I saw vultures in the road. And the last time I saw like vultures in I guess this kind of way that like made me like pay attention to it, or like when I was like specifically thinking of something, was in May, I believe. And there for like for like 3 days there were these vultures on the back fence of my house in the backyard. They were just lined up, like 12 vultures. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do these vultures mean? Like, why are they here at my house and my neighbor's house a bit? And I looked it up and I found like a interpretation that kind of aligned with me. And it was saying like, you have like, your energy is very like big and expansive right now. And that's kind of like how I connect to the vulture. And for me, vultures represent like transitions, transformation, you know, like they're all about like that death, life, rebirth, kind of like, you know, syncing up. So that's something I wanted to mention, vultures as a sign. And so yeah, we'll close it up with 2 more quotes from the 444 album that like stuck with me. So the song, like the title track 444 itself, I always remembered like when the album dropped, I watched every single interview I could find. I watched all his footnotes, I watched all the music videos. I was very much into the album. And I remember him saying in an interview that the song 444 was the crux of the album. That how he named it was that like he woke up one night or one morning, one day at 4:44 a.m. and like that was the time on the clock, and he got up and he said he just knew that he had to like go and record the album. Like it was a very like spiritual, intuitive kind of thing. And 444 is like, it's dead set in the middle of the album. Dead set in the middle of the album, and it's 4 minutes and 44 seconds long, and it's an apology not only to his wife but just people in his life, throughout his life, that embodied the feminine that he disrespected. And I feel like in a way including himself. The quote I wrote down was, I apologize because at your best you are love, and because I fall short of what I say I'm all about. When I heard that in the car, I was like, ah! Also, something I'm hearing now is the other quote from other lyric from that song where he's like, I never wanted another woman to know something about me that you didn't know. I promised, I cried, I couldn't hold. Hi, Dragonfly. Hi, lovely. Anyways, I remember the second one I just shared about like, I never want another woman to know something about me that you didn't know. I remember that quote so vividly because my mother like messaged me that one time when I didn't tell her I was going on a date with somebody, and she was like, I never thought another woman would know something about me that you didn't know, because one of her friends had told her. And so again, I feel like that goes back to like accountability and like being honest with yourself and others around you when you know it's time. I always say like, this is something Ramona Lappin like said, and it always has stuck with me. She was like, if it's time to tell the truth and you stay silent, that is a lie. You are lying. If you know it's time and it's the right thing to do, and you've said nothing, you didn't do anything, like that's you being out of alignment. You lied. And so that's how I feel like with that quote. Now the other one about at your best you are love, and because I apologize because at your best you are love, and because I fall short of what I say I am all about. And just to give you kind of like my idea of like Jay-Z before this album, before the whole thing, you know, the whole thing that happened, it's like he always like goes around telling everybody like he's a real guy, like he's real, he's legit, like he's trustworthy, like there's no need to question him. Like, he's all about like what he's all about. Like, he's, what you see is what you get. Like, he's very much known, especially before 444, like, for being this very authentic and like outspoken person. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like the culture, right? And then here he goes and has an affair. Like, ah! What was that? Has an affair. As I said that, something like came and like touched my head. So I'm hitting a nail on the head with somebody. Let me know if it's you in the comments. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already. Thank you so much. The time is 12:22, so that's 1222. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna feed you soon, baby. Hold on. Anyways, he fell short of everything he says he's all about. Like, he proclaims that he's this person, and yet inside he was not. He was not as strong and tough and authentic as he was claiming to be. So that goes back to the message that I was getting earlier. What was it? Was that a spider's web? About making sure that there's something real underneath the wrapping. All right, and the last quote, and the last thing I'll talk about today in this live of the 1010 portal, it's from the song Bomb. Bomb, bomb. It's spelled B-A-M. Bomb, bomb. I don't give a goddamn. And it was so crazy with this song, because I was like listening to the album and I was like, this song is coming up, this song is coming up. I want to be able to like be out of my car. Like, I want to be parked and I want to be at the park and I want to have my earbuds in, turned all the way up, so I can like really express myself in this song. Because this is like the one song where, like, butterfly, this is the one song where he like allows himself to like be his like toughest like gangster self. He says, fuck all that Sean Carter shit, nigga, Hove. Like, I'm here, like, I'm God, like, who gonna fuck with me? And like, so I always get turned up on that song. And I went to the park and I got there and I was like, I don't have no damn water. And I was like, I can't come to the park and like not have like water. So I had to like leave the park and go get water. And so like I missed like that chance. And so like I feel like within that on its own is like divine alignment, divine timing, and you're not going to be able to do things like your old same old way no more. Like it's very much time to be led by your highest self, excuse me, in new levels of consciousness. Okay, darling? All right, so this is a quote from Bomb. It says, I never seen a worker rock so many jewels. I never seen a runner with so many cars. Y'all couldn't stop me. You're not as tough as you say you are. And this, of course, in my opinion, is like directed as like those folks, the IRS, the ABC boys. Because of course they've like tried to, you know, fuck with him and stop him over the years. And I feel like this is just in general, like for everybody. Like, this is not just about him or not just about me. There is definitely like this this pushback. A lot of times they don't want this. And one of the messages that came out the other day that I got, it was like it wasn't a message. Someone said this to me. Like, it was this being that I saw. Like, it was a thing. And she was like, when we come, everything they have like to fight against us will not be enough. It won't be enough. And like, that's the message that I want to close this out with, is that there is no force, no nothing that can stand against you as you are in alignment with truth. Truth burns. Liars. Hold on, they want me to walk up to the front of this building. I've forgotten the name of this place. Whew. It's hot out here. Surprise, surprise, Texas. Surprise, surprise. This building ain't open yet. But it's like one what's it called? Sign that's like up here. It says make art. Make art. But yeah, make art. But that's what I heard. It was like when they, thank you for the like, when they do come, or like when we come, when we show up together, there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. Like, there's nothing they can do. Nothing at all. And that's when you need bomb. That's when you need like that energy. Say back the fuck up. Like, hold on. Who you think you messing with? You got the wrong person. All right, I'm gonna sit here a little bit and like make sure I've said everything, because I feel this little feeling on my shoulder. Give me a moment. Okay, so I immediately heard this song called Training Wheels by Melanie Martinez. And it's like, I love everything you do. Ain't coming down, stupid shit I do. I'm right back with you. Fully undressed, no training wheels left for you. I pull them off for you. It's like basically saying like no training wheels left for you. So there's definitely like someone who this message is for, if not everyone, including myself, where it's like you need to take off the training wheels in terms of some connection. And you'll know what this connection is. I'm seeing a helicopter pass by now. Not literally, it's literally a helicopter passing by in the distance. Like for some people, I'm hearing this is with a daughter. You need to take off the training wheels and like stop sort of like test driving. And I feel like for a lot of people, this will be like something with like another adult, like somebody that's like your age, or even if I guess a child could be an adult. But yeah, for some, I feel like a good chunk of people, this is like romantic. Like you need to like stop testing it, like stop putting on like these safety measures and just go for it. Like take off the training wheels, take off the little precautions, take off the safety, get rid of the safety net and just jump, just do it. It's time. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Bright Queen. Please like this video and share it, should you feel called to do so. I'm here all day, folks. I plan to be out all day. And whenever that happens, I usually get like a lot of downloads. So I don't know, I might come back on here later on, or I might like record a video and just post it later. But I feel like I'm really supposed to like take advantage of the sun. Today, the wind blew as I said that in like blew these papers. Yeah, I'm supposed to be outside. I'm about to be outside, okay? All right, bye. How do I end?